what's up?
Hey, Bri.
Hey.
How you doing? This is probably going to come out after Easter, but we were recording Saturday before Easter. So this technically, I guess, is our Easter special, even though it'll probably come out Monday.
And we
get
have
it all checked. And like all holidays, we get together with the family for the meal. And one of the people came in town is our nephew Robert, and he's in with us because we bullshit all year long, especially about, while we're doing the podcast with the sports betting and picks. And we do some gambling together and try and figure it out. That's what we're doing. So he's our guest today, actually with us talking. So don't be shy, Robert. Go ahead and say hello.
I'm glad you stuck to your script. You did pretty well. I'm pretty impressed.
I just write notes.
Yes, and listen, and he couldn't even put it. I was going to try to say something, but you were barreling through that. And that's
the
good.
reason why is because I want to say what he's doing here. I mean, this is it.
Yes.
Basically, what Brian and I are doing is recording the same bullshit conversations that we have week in and week out when we go to our mother's house to have dinner at the dinner table. And on the holidays, it's with Robert. Now, Robert is kind of an old soul. Look, he was raised in a cave. And the reason why I say he's raised in a cave is because all his opinions at a young age were like from his dad, which a lot of people get with sports and stuff.
Of
But it was
course.
music and it was entertainment, it was TV. He didn't have a lot. I don't think it was a lot of exposure. Now, when he branched out into the world, I feel like he has more opinions that are, I don't know how to say this correctly, valid. Because he could, when I mean by
The
valid.
most credit you ever gave me ever.
Well, no, I tell you
it's-
this all
and
the
it's
time.
very
No,
insulting.
shut up. Wait.
And it's
I tell you this
insulting
all
at the
the
same time.
It's insulting, but it's not really, because what I'm trying to say is this. He was raised in a house where it was like whatever Rolling Stone said, everything, and I get it, like the top 10 bands of all time, and these are the top TV shows of all time based on whatever. But what I mean by that is this. So he was exposed to the old school stuff. So he has opinions about the old stuff, as most young people don't, because he watched a lot of stuff, or he listened to a lot of stuff. And now, actually, I feel he can compare the old to the new as a young person more than other people. That's all I'm trying to say.
That's it. And I'm just having fun here. All I'm trying to say is you could have just said he got a lot of old school influence from his dad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we all know, because we say this every family dinner discussion we have. So now I'm here now. We put a microphone in front of us. So here we go.
Yes.
And thank you for that, because I do agree. Because I do think with this generation of sports, especially the fandom and how things go, there's a lot of missing information I hear from the takes from the younger generation, their sports takes today. Because they just either don't know about the history or don't care for it. I don't like having those debates with people who are not informed in that way.
Yeah, so he basically he can
I
hold
gave
a
him a compliment
conversation.
for once.
Yes. Well, it sounded like a backhanded
I'm on
compliment
sky
to me.
high.
all my compliments are backhanded.
Yeah. So he is the only person that I know that can talk to you about sport. I don't know a lot of people. None of my friends really give a shit, or if they do give a shit, they know very little about sports.
They like
me.
their teams.
They like their teams, and they don't even know that much about their teams, right? But they know enough to go team. And you actually have a lot of knowledge in sports, so you guys have a lot of back and forths that I go, okay, I'm walking away from this. Originally, this is supposed to be like you guys talking. Like in my mind, I'm like, you guys always should have been talking about sports.
Well, Robert
on this.
went to ECU, and he was journalism, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And actually, Robert worked for me for a few summers while he was in college, which is where we had a lot of conversations about all this kind of stuff, driving up and down the road all over the country. So we talked a lot about a lot of different sports, a lot of different markets. Now, unfortunately, his favorite teams suck, just like most of my favorite teams suck.
Not as
too.
much now.
And not as much now, because
What are they?
they don't win championships, but they get close.
Well, right? No, they are, and always have been. I've taken the New York sports fan, even though I've been in North Carolina all my life. But New York Knicks for basketball, Mets for baseball, Jets for football, and then the bandwagon hockey Rangers, because I just watched them in the playoffs and they were awful this year. So I will admit I'm not a big hockey follower, but finally the Knicks are good. They're in the playoffs for the third straight year. I can
They're
finally enjoy
almost
that.
there, just like
the
Ewing.
Mets, they went to the championship series last year, and the Jets are the Jets. That's so.
Yeah.
That's a whole
longtime
different
Jet
thing.
sufferer. But those are all also, once again, like we talked about.
Well, yeah.
My dad didn't have teams.
Right.
Those are all his dad's teams.
Exactly. Those are
And
your
his
dad's
dad has
teams.
been a long-suffering fan of all those teams forever. But once again, like I said, those teams link up. For some reason, all those fans are kind of the same. They
Yeah.
lose, they lose, they lose, they lose. And you root for all of them. You don't have one championship jersey.
I'm glad that I was able to. I'm glad Janine was the influence. Like I didn't have a choice growing up to pick the Mets. It was Yankees was the only choice in our house because of Janine. Because
Right.
she was a diehard Yankee fan. She was still in her like 40s, like listening to every freaking or like getting results of every game in the seasons. Like
But I didn't get along with
160
Janine,
games.
so I couldn't stand
No,
the
you
Yankees.
didn't. But it was see, you couldn't stand the Yankees. But even at a young age, you couldn't stand.
No,
her?
I actually used to go to Yankee games. I
Yeah.
saw Ricky Henderson and Ron Guidry and all these other players when they were playing. I saw them at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah,
when they were
Don
in
Mattingly,
between,
Greg
when they were
Nettles.
in between the good and like there was a little stretch there in the Yankee time where they were like they had a lot of names but they didn't win.
No, they didn't win. Never saw Reggie
So-
Jackson. Anyway.
So-
None of my teams won. Still haven't.
Ever.
So still waiting for my first ever championship for my favorite team.
But,
So,
but as
that's
far as TV and entertainment, always like you getting back to what you were saying. Robin and I are always talking about whether it's television shows and oh, you got to watch this show and who's the best and this oh this is coming out or whatever or opinions on plots or series. We're always talking about it. You have never followed and you like your stuff, but you never followed enough of your teams. You just say they're my team, and when they get into the playoffs, okay, it's good. How they doing?
And I don't really, and it's really just football for the most part,
Yeah.
you know, and really probably because I had money on it in some way, shape, or form where it made it more fun. But like I've stopped watching football altogether when the Jets are having a shit season until the playoffs happen, and then I'll find somebody to root for.
Well, this year, I guess, podcast at least got you watching a little more football, or at least the results of football.
Yes, and well, and now
And fantasy football, which actually changed everything for everybody. When
Yeah.
fantasy football started,
I did one
that
of
was
those. But I mean now I'm changing into golf where I literally was sitting here working on Sunday and made sure that I wanted to see if I could watch history, and I watched all of what was it, McElroy?
McElroy.
Yeah, all of his game with DeChambeau.
Yes.
And it was like
And
made
Justin
sure I
Rose.
watched every hole just because I wanted to see, and it was painful and it was great, and I was like, I can get into golf, and I've only just touched the surface of it just by watching that series.
And I
full
watched this
swing.
week's first couple of rounds already from the RBC in Hilton Head because I almost played there 2 years ago. I had a booking for a vacation at that course to play that course. And I was going to go by myself because I couldn't find anybody to go with me.
Do you play golf, Robert?
I do not play golf.
Yeah.
Outside of putt-putt, I've swung a club a couple of times. That's as far as it goes.
Yeah, that tracks because your dad's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
As
yeah.
we said, I don't pick up on the things that I don't go from a young age. I'm trying to catch up now and just
Yeah.
figure out just try different things. And
Well, you
so-
got to fail. That's the thing. You
Yeah.
got to be okay with failing over and over and over again. That's with everything in life. It's like, and golf is a good example
Golf is
of it.
great at failing.
Yeah, it's so great.
You got to be great at failing.
You
in golf
really do.
because it's going to happen. Look
And-
at the guys on the
and that's
pros.
okay.
Look at what happens to the pros, especially
Yeah.
the Masters. These guys were leading this guy, and then
and they're amazing.
they just shank it, and next thing you know, they're out of the tournament, and that's for millions and notoriety and history.
But for us, it's a lot worse because you got people maybe behind you and you're going, this son of a bitch just swung 12 times on a hole, pick up the ball and walk. And that's a part of failure. You know, it's like you go, I only get 7 swings and I don't get to play because my friends know how, and I'm going to go to the next hole and try again. And then just fail like for 180 holes and then be like, all right, I'm going to be better eventually.
You know how I got a little bit better at golf? I played with people who were 30 times better than me. And it hurts me to say that because I like to be good at stuff that I play. But I played with people who I've never beaten. I still can't beat. There's people that I played with on a regular basis. And what I mean regular basis is once every 2 or 3 months when they call me every weekend. And they play every weekend. But when I play, yeah, I'm still 10 shots worse than you no matter what happens. But I'm better at the game, but I'm still not good.
Imagine if you
And
played
it's-
every
It
weekend.
suffers.
though.
And you just suffer through that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's the same thing I've done playing pickup basketball. It's always trying to play with the better guys. I never was as good. I try to play with guys who are playing for the ECU team, whether it was the club team, was still really good, and then just on the team itself, like, I just want to play to get better. And
I
that's how you get
forget-
better with them. You just play people who want to challenge you, and you want to challenge yourself to get on that level, even if you'll never get there.
Yeah.
You'll push yourself, though.
Yeah. I forgot that you're good at basketball.
I'm not. I'm really not that good. I'm just
But
saying. I'm
you
just saying
are
I'm more confident
competent.
enough to stand in my own way, and understanding that I'm not on a certain level and just playing my role.
Yeah, but you're competent. I
True,
would look
yeah.
at you as being a competent. Where if I would,
That's a
if
good
somebody
word.
saw me up there, they'd be like, "What's this guy doing?" Like, yeah, he's seen people play basketball, and he kind of knows how to dribble sometimes.
He knows what a ball is. He knows it has to go in the net. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a surprisingly competent basketball player, but I play underneath the basket and I just know how to use my body even when I was small and skinny, because we used to play a game called 3-man. It was just 3 of us, and as soon as the ball goes up, everybody's on defense, and when you get the ball, you're on offense against the other 2 guys. And that game was insane. You learned how to, it was called butcher ball. We used to call it butcher ball, and we used to play in the old courts with the fence
Rockville
around the whole
Center.
thing. Yeah,
You were just like a
Lister
post player.
Park.
You were just down low, and you just hand you the ball, and you just
No,
throw it up.
nobody hands you the ball. You have to dribble against, you're playing offense against 2 defenders. And whoever has the ball is on offense. And it's
Okay.
kind of like kill a carrier, but you got to score. And the only break you have is if you score, you get to shoot a free throw. And that's an extra basket for you. We played till 100. It was insane. We were insane. It didn't make any sense. I'm not saying we were straight and narrow at the time, but it was just an insane game. That's all. And I played it for years and years and years. And yeah, it was, people came and watched us and like, you guys are basically wrestling each other.
Was
playing
it pretty much
basketball."
just like everybody?
Yeah.
All right, everyone's Michael Jordan, and then there's the defense was just the bad boys, and you just go inside and they just hit you and you try to score.
Now, this is what I'm trying to say. His references are old school. This is what I mean. He's talking about Jordan and the bad boys from the Pistons.
No one was Jordan in
Nobody,
this group,
He
first
wasn't
of
even
all.
around for the Pistons of Isaiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer, but that's who he's referencing right now. So that's what I mean. Robert has the old. That's why
He
I
has
love the
a-
debate
There's
of
no one doing
LeBron
that
versus
now.
Jordan at the table. The debate LeBron
I'm
versus
retired from
Jordan.
that.
That's it.
It's a
insane.
ridiculous debate. There are certain, well, at least not. It's not a ridiculous debate. It's a debate that I've heard enough times where I go, enough, guys.
Yeah.
Enough.
I know.
No, it's fair. No, because Charles Barkley recently said this whole called out the entire ESPN network, because all they do every week, at least 2 or 3 times a week, they have a debate, whether it's something, they include them in there. They're not talking about the Thunder, who have had one of the best seasons in history, the Cavs, who are an amazing story. No one thought they were going to jump this well. And you got the race between SGA and Nikola Jokic, first center to average a triple-double. Like, they don't talk about that as much. It just still to go on. Is LeBron still better than Joe? What will a ring mean for him? He got 25 points the other night to set a record, or whatever it is. So
Right.
it's just that's the save things, and even I can't listen to it as much.
I don't even know what a triple double is.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. I see why I'm here now.
Yeah.
I can't get over that because I love that fact. Okay.
What is it again? I've heard of it.
Okay, it's points, double digits in points, assists, and rebounds. So you would have to get at least 10 points,
Right.
at least 10
Yeah, yeah,
rebounds,
yeah.
and at least 10
Triple-double.
assists.
All
But
right.
typically, the point guard gets the assists, and typically the rebounder is the center, and typically the guy scoring 10 points isn't that, I mean, I'm not going to say it's not that hard. I couldn't get 1 point. But 10 points is pretty low on the average of stars to get points.
It is, but when
it's
you're
being
doing
able
them
to
all
get all
together.
3 of them.
Yes, no, I understand
to average
the
that for a
concept.
season
Yes.
is
To
kind of
average it,
incredible.
you're saying when you average that for a season.
For a
Yeah.
season.
Wow.
There was only one guy who did it, old school guy who did it.
It was
before.
Oscar Robertson, and then Westbrook did it like 4 times, but he just had the ball so much, and it was just Westbrook is it's a whole different animal discussion. But Jokic did it as a center, which hasn't been done as a center, and
But this is who now. You said Jokic is somebody who plays now?
Yeah. He won the MVP the
Listen
last
to me.
couple of years.
Was he? Is
Three.
he now on the Lakers and he came
No,
from
he's on
Dallas?
Denver.
no,
No.
that's the other European.
Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic.
Luka.
He's the one who got traded, a big trade from the Mavericks
Right.
to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Which is why everybody's saying the Lakers really have a shot this year if they could put it together, in all honesty.
Well, I mean, Jesus, how would they not if this guy's amazing and they have LeBron, who's potentially, from what I understand, they talk about 2 to 3 times a week at ESPN, fucking one of the best.
Well, here's the thing. Defense does win championships. You can't have just offense because there hasn't been that many teams. Even Golden State, when they got into the playoffs that year, when they won big time, when they were outscoring everybody and they won all those games, their defense stepped up in the playoffs. So the offense and the defensive balance is huge.
And what's weird is, like in other sports, they're different players. Where in basketball, they're the same fucking player. And you go, like, how is it that they're not getting hammered? What are they, too big of stars to be hammered on defense and like work them out hard in practice? Because what's the excuse there? These guys are obviously talented.
Some people just don't have quick feet. Some people are just better at getting the shot off very quickly.
The interesting part about this league is this NBA is Phil has the most talented pool of players that we've seen in any era, which is true. But then they equate that to just their athletic ability. But the two best players you can argue in the league are the most unathletic players in the league. Jokic is 7 feet, but can hardly touch the rim. And same thing with Doncic. But such smart basketball players, despite their lack of athleticism, and that's what makes them so unique and so polarizing because they're doing so much other stuff and they're great to watch in that way.
Jokic is a center who does not dunk. He does not dunk. Now understand what that means.
Right. I
Everything
can
in the
understand
NBA
that.
is a quick dunk. This guy, he's averaging a triple-double. He scores like a maniac. He could shoot from outside and inside, but he does not dunk because he does not jump. He does not jump.
Think of Hakeem Olajuwon's footwork in Larry Bird's body. So
As I give you the look of like, what the hell are you talking about?
So just
like,
think like the
I know
centers
Bird's body, but I don't even know who the other guy is.
Well, he played
For
for
the
Larry
name.
Bird, but bigger. This
Bigger.
guy is 7 foot. This guy is huge.
Yeah, no,
We
I
always
can get a
I
big
always
guy
call
not
him a
being
big
able to
loaf
jump.
of white bread. He's a giant foreign player, gigantic person.
Yeah, no, I
who
get it.
looks like he would come out of the woods. I
Yeah.
know.
So what the hell are we doing here?
It's Saturday. The playoffs start today. We're just going to make our predictions on the first round real quick of who's going to win these series. And also, I want to put in a bet officially to say I want OKC and Cleveland as a bet to reach the finals. So I think it's like 4-1. And the other thing is the NFL draft is next week. And in the NFL draft, I want to put an over bet. It's 2.5. I want to put an over bet on 3 quarterbacks drafted the first round. Because as soon as the first 2 quarterbacks go, everybody's going to panic, and somebody's going to move up to take the third quarterback, either Jackson Dart or the other guy, Shug.
So you want to place these bets
I wanna
on
place
your
these
own,
bets.
or you want to place
I
them
mean,
as
if you want to
us?
have, I might place them on my own. If you don't want to have anything,
I
to
don't
do
know.
with it.
No, I'm curious. I will care enough.
Those 2 teams are number 1 in the league, and nobody's giving them credit, meaning number 1 in the East and number 1 in the West, OKC and Cleveland. Cleveland's record has been superior against everybody this year, and OKC as well. So I think that they're going to get to the finals. The only 2 teams I see giving them trouble is, and I hate to say it, is the Clippers, because they're hot right now, and they rested Kawhi all year, and the Celtics. Everybody else I think is going to go away. And those 2 teams, the NBA doesn't want it because they're not big-time teams, but they were great teams this year.
I mean, I would imagine it's hard to call basketball games just because so many of them are so damn close. It literally is coming down to like 30 seconds, or like there's so
It's
many.
either or this year. It's a blowout or it's close.
The thing is like no lead is safe because they shoot the 3 ball like crazy now.
I'm betting on the young studs. I'm watching the rosters. I think they're both going to get there.
Yeah, no, I feel comfortable betting on that.
So real quick, I'm going to ask you, since you know so much about basketball, Bri.
Right.
The first series starts today. Bucks, which is Milwaukee, by the way. Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay, I
with
didn't
Giannis
know. I wouldn't
Antetokounmpo,
know.
which is a
I
phenomenal
don't know
player.
who that is. Okay.
Okay, they're at Indiana.
You're laughing. I don't give a shit, Robert.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
care.
Here's what
We're
we'll
not
do.
here for a basketball podcast.
I got the Pacers taking the Bucks out in this whole series. How about you?
I have the Pacers in this series. If I had to guess how far we'll go, I would say 6 games.
I like
That's
the Pacers. I remember their old jersey,
Uh-huh.
and I like
With
that.
Reggie Miller.
Yeah, so I'll take the Pacers.
Okay, he's
Right,
taking the
that's good.
Pacers. One of the best series, first round, Clippers at Denver. Denver has your big guy who's got average a triple-double, Jokic.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but they're not having a great season. And they fired their coach a week ago.
Oh, that's not good.
It might have been a motivator, who knows? But they're playing against the Clippers, who have been hot. And I'll tell you what, if the Clippers put it together and play the way they've been playing, I'm worried about the Clippers. I'm actually picking the Clippers to take out the Nuggets, but I think that's one of the best first-round series.
I'm taking the Nuggets because I don't know anything.
Okay, well, I'm going to take the Nuggets, one, because simply this. Jokic said a beast is most dangerous when it is vulnerable. I think he's going to go for like average 40 this series.
And a little background on Jokic real quick for you, Bri, is the fact that the guy doesn't even sound like he wants to play basketball 90% of the time. He sounds like he wants to be home
Horseback
at his
riding.
farm with his little baby ponies. I'm not joking. This is
Yeah,
what he
that's
talks about.
great.
The next series, Robert cares
My
about,
team.
but I think it's going to be over pretty quickly. Pistons at the Knicks. The Knicks are favored in the series. I'm picking the Knicks to win this series.
I'm gonna pick the Knicks because I'm from New York.
We'll pick the Knicks because they better win this series. That's the reason I'm saying Knicks. I'll give Pistons a couple of games because they're gritty, but Knicks should win this in 6.
They're not
at
the
most.
same team as last year. Okay, the second best series is the Minnesota Timberwolves, who I've loved since Garnett and Marbury, are playing against the Lakers, and the Lakers are favorite. I'm taking the T-Wolves.
Really?
I think that you can catch them early.
I'm gonna go complete opposite and pick the Lakers in 5, and and I also bet in favor of Lakers at times just in case they win, so I can get some money because I hate them too.
Last year, T-Wolves were favored, and they didn't come through. This year, they're dogs, less pressure. Telling you, I think that's gonna happen.
I tell you, I'm going Timberwolves too, only because I don't like LA,
and because I convince him to stuff that he doesn't really want to bet.
No, I go against LeBron. I know he's on the Lakers.
Yeah,
I know basketball.
All right,
thank you.
Sunday's games: the Grizzlies, who just made it into the play-in game, are playing the number 1 seeded Oklahoma City Thunder. That is the second biggest spread of the week. Okay, I'm taking OKC. I'm taking them to win the whole thing.
We didn't even talk spreads. I'd love to have known the spreads.
Basketball spreads always scare me because I don't. You know what? I would
You're
rather
not
just
even
take a winner.
Well, were we taking?
that's what you're
were
doing.
we taking series
I'm betting
winners?
series winners.
Series winners, yeah.
Not game winners. I'm betting series winners for this. Game winners, to me, this is the playoffs especially. This is where it just gets a little crazy. They're either blowouts or they're close. And a lot of these games right now that are supposed to be blowouts usually are close, and especially in the first game of the first round. I don't like betting the first game of the first round.
Right. So you're literally talking about these are just
the whole
you're
overall
placing
series.
bets for these two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For this Grizzlies Thunder to win. If I go specific, I'll say Thunder in 4. I think this is gonna be a OKC sweep. They're just better, so much better offensively, defensively, and that's as simple as that.
OKC, you got it.
Okay.
My bad.
This one I think is over even faster. I'm sorry, the Magic don't even belong in this series. It's the Magic, Orlando Magic against the Boston Celtics. I think the Celtics just take them out quickly and easily.
What do you think?
I think so as well, but I'm gonna give this one in 5. I think they'll rough them up a bit just to get one game, but I think this one's over in 5 for Boston.
The next one, I don't even think they should bother playing it. I think the Heat should just say, okay, we're going to take our summer vacation now. It's the Heat versus the Cavs. I'm taking the Cavs because I'm taking them to go to the finals.
I'll take.
These are all the series. These are a lot of series that are going.
They're all started. They're all starting this weekend. The playoffs.
It's a lot of people in the
16
playoffs.
Teams.
Yeah,
16, eight
Okay.
series.
Yeah.
Best of 7. Oh, it's going to last till July. This is how it goes. Just like the hockey playoffs. They both last, and
Honestly,
that's coming up soon too.
I don't know. I haven't followed this stuff ever, I don't think.
And I'm taking the Maple Leafs to win the Stanley Cup this year.
Cavs. I'll also go 5 just because I just respect the Heat and that way.
If Butler was still on the Heat, I'd pick the Heat to at least make it competitive.
I don't know. You skipped a couple of them for me, so I don't know. The Heat, not the Heat, not the Heat.
You don't want the Heat, the Cavaliers.
Not Cavaliers. Yeah. How often do these things end in? When you're saying it's going to be 5, that means it's the first to 4.
No, yeah, it's
the first to 4 wins.
So it's best of 7 series. First to
5
win
is
4,
called a
something.
gentleman's sweep,
Right.
which means at least you won one game and you made it look respectable. Not really
Right.
respectable, but whatever.
Yeah.
But the last series, I'm so excited to watch this series, is the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors against the Rockets. The Rockets are a young team, and the Rockets are favored by a very little bit. But I think the Warriors' experience in the playoffs, and I think Jimmy Butler at least filling in for Steph Curry and getting to the free throw line and being another option scorer and slowing the game down so Steph gets some breaks makes a huge difference.
I don't think this is going to be over because Golden State also has this bad habit of letting games get away because Golden State just slips up. There will be some I think there will be at least over under 2.5 brawls in this series.
Okay. I'm going to go for not Steph Curry.
Okay. I hate you both. But here's the thing. Never, ever has Golden State had a player as tough as Jimmy Butler. You could say what you want about Draymond Green, but what I mean is tough, consistently driving on offense, consistently going after every second. That's the difference. When you say the last couple of years they tend to let people in, Jimmy Butler's going to do whatever. He took a shitty Miami team how many times into the playoffs and pulled it out?
No, that's why.
the difference.
That's why I pick Golden State to win. I'm just saying that those other things where
I don't see it getting to 7 to the point where because usually that's what happens. Golden State, they're screwing around and they're chucking threes from half court and they're doing whatever. There's no more Clay there. It's Butler, and Butler does it's a different style of game.
Old school tough.
Yeah, and that's the difference. I think that's different because I think it's kind of like a cheaper version of what they had when they had Kevin Durant, which is Kevin Durant can just leave Steph Curry out of it and take over the game offensively and do what he's got to do. Get to the free throw line, get 3-point plays, do whatever, and that's it. Aren't you happy that you know so much about basketball, Bri.
It's great.
You know what? The playoffs are going to be good. I
gotta
actually want to
teach
go to a
people.
bar tonight. I want to watch one game.
There you go. Go with Robert.
The T-Wolves and the Lakers. I might actually go if he wants
All
to
right,
go.
yeah, let me know.
All right. That's it for this week. Everybody, have a happy Easter. Our Easter special is full of basketball because it's going to be on TV all day long tomorrow. That's it.
Thank you for having me. See you at dinner tomorrow.